Hey everybody, Eric here in the garden. You can see I'm still making progress on the pruning, hopefully wrapping this up shortly. One thing I've noticed this year that I wanted to point out are beneficial bugs in the garden. What beneficial bugs? Specifically, ladybugs. So during the rose growing season, I will often spray the roses, especially, well, certainly for black spot all season, because we can get black spot in the winter, late winter, through the fall. But as far as insects go, I don't spray for insect damage much unless I'm preparing for a rose show. And there's a reason for that. Most of the insecticides that are on the market do not discriminate between a bug that's beneficial and one that's not. So what do I mean? Well, Japanese beetle is not a beneficial insect in the rose garden. Eats the leaves, deforms the leaves, the buds, things like that. Spider mites, specifically spider mites, not a beneficial bug for the rose bush. But there are predatory mites. There's bugs called lacewigs and others that actually eat things like aphids and other types of mites in your garden, and they are considered beneficials. Some folks actually buy them and will release them in the garden. I've never done that. I haven't had experience with that, but I'm excited to see that I have all these ladybugs in my garden. And you can certainly comment what the different ones, whether they're male or female. And apologize, let me see if I can get this to come into focus. But I've had a couple main ones, the classic orange with some, there we go. Sorry it took so long. Orange with black markings. I've had the classic red with black markings, and then I've also had an orange one. So just kind of wanted to show you that quick. I know roses, especially the ones I'm growing, specifically these are hybrid teas. These are not disease-resistant roses, so I do more spraying than most. But I specifically hold off on insecticides unless I'm a couple weeks out from a show. Otherwise, I really don't care. If I have a couple leaves that have holes on it, so be it. I'm not really into perfection in the garden outside of the rose show season. So May and October here in eastern North Carolina, I will spray some insecticides. And here is another one as I'm pruning. I'll try to zoom in. That's all orange on that one. That little guy is just under the leaflet itself. So pretty cool to see. He or she's not moving much today because it's kind of cold outside, so probably wants to be inside by the fire. But just wanted to point that out as I make my way through this pruning. This is our 4th year here in North Carolina, and I'm feeling it. What I mean by that is these roses are fully leafed out on some of them, and they are easily as tall as my roses were in upstate New York at the end of the season. This is March. So it is taking, and this is, even though I pruned a little bit in the fall, it takes a long time to get them, down to 2.5, 3 feet. That's still pretty good to start off in the spring. But you can see now that they're more established, some of these are going on 2.5, 3 years in the beds. They're established and they are big. So it's taking a while to prune, but I'll slowly make my way through. But just wanted to show you those little guys and gals in the garden, the ladybugs, some beneficial insects. So if you see them in the garden, give them a pat and thank them for doing all the dirty work of eating the mites and other goodies in the garden that you don't want. Hope everyone's doing well. We're kind of cloudy and cool here, typical March day, and look forward to some warmer days ahead. And certainly, hopefully by then, I will be done the last, looks like I got 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, the last 15 of 42 rose bushes to prune. You can see I'm still using the bins, very, very helpful. I don't have a truck, so I use the bins. These 17, 18 gallon bins are Target, Walmart, Home Depot. They're pretty much sold everywhere. Highly recommend. Use them for carrying weeds and compost. So they're my little go-tos in the garden. Have a great day, everyone. And as always, I appreciate you sharing the channel with your fellow Rosarians.